jam-packed day here in Shaler area on Homecoming 2024. Hi everybody, John Irwine alongside Matt Prucker here for coverage of today's game here on SCTV as the Shaler Titans host the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Homecoming 2024, Matt. It's a jam-packed day, like I just said. They had the parade earlier, the game today, there's the dance tonight. But let's focus on the thing that in the middle, the football game, is the Titans host the Wolverines. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling very excited. It's great to be back. Kind of missed this a little though, doing this the last 2 years, but I'm excited for the action here to see these guys in person, come back from college, and homecoming, that's what it's for. So I'm really excited to see this game today.
Yeah, absolutely. The Titans coming in with a 2-2 record facing against the 2-2 Wolverines, but those records do not stack against each other in terms of how competitive those games have been.
Yeah, the first part, Woodland Hills, I mean, they've been one of the teams that have been favored to win it all, the win the whip here in 5A. And they lost to Central Catholic. They got smoked by Central Catholic, but that's probably the team that's going to win 6A. So, and Shaler, they've got a good group too, but I think the biggest result here for Woodland Hills is that win over Penn Hills. I mean, 26-6. That game wasn't close. Penn Hills just beat Aliquippa last night, who was like the number 2 ranked team according to some people. And it's just like, wow. I mean, this Woodland Hills team is going to be very good. It's going to be a tough challenge for Shaler today.
Yeah, this is a Woodland Hills team that has been culminating for a long time now. The likes of Cam Walters, Zakir Moore, Scoops Smith, of course, cannot forget about him. These are guys that have been playing since their freshman year, as they're heading into their junior year this season. So obviously this year, this is the year that Woodland Hills is finally going to make that push. They're finally going to make that final sprint to get to that big one. But the schedule hasn't been that favorable. But today, things might change up for them against the Titans.
Yeah, just 2-2, and this is the quote easiest opponent, if you will, based on strength of record, strength of schedule, whatever you want to call it. But they can't be distracted. It's a different experience for them. They played it last year, and it was a cakewalk, an absolute blowout. They're going to be wanting to do the same thing, but they can't get themselves too hyped up. So let's talk about Shaler a little bit. They're 2-2 come to the season, and an interesting controversy at quarterback, if you will.
Yeah, today, Joe Rispoli will not be taking the field, defense or offense. He is dealing with a hamstring contusion, we believe, that will keep him out for about 2 weeks. So with that being said, Max O'Reilly will be under center at quarterback and taking over for the Titans for his first varsity start on the season. We've seen him a couple times this year, 10 of 20, 99 yards passing. Not the greatest stats in the world, but for Wiley, it's almost like a Justin Fields moment, not to relate to the Steelers, but don't make mistakes is really the big name of the game for him today.
Well, you got a young quarterback like that, a sophomore. That's when Keegan Smetanka took over. The quarterback graduated last year. This is a great chance to build the program. This isn't the year, I believe, unless they can pull out some big upsets. This isn't the year. They want to build for a couple of years in the future. I'm excited to see what Wiley can do because he's going to be a guy that the Shaler program is going to be looking to in the quarterback position.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy for the next 2 years that hopefully he's going to step up, build the program like you said. And this is just a good first step today, I think, for him to really understand this is the type of level that it is. 5A is no cakewalk by, any means whatsoever. The South section with Peters Township, USC, Bethel, South Fayette, the favorites, there's 4 of them in the same section. Now today, the Titans, it's going to be a tough one for them. What do they have to do to at least for them and to get back on schedule, back on track, at least keep this competitive?
Yeah, I think you already alluded to this. It's limiting mistakes. They have to be plus, I think. They have to get a couple of turnovers. They force a couple more turnovers than they commit. And they also have to make sure to limit mistakes. Penalties. You cannot have holding calls. That will ruin the drive. Pass interference on defense every once in a while is okay, but you also don't want them to be marching down the field. So I think the defense for Shaler is going to be the key if they want to come out here with a victory. They got to slow down Scoop Smith at all costs. Double him, whatever you need to do. Force him to go through someone else to win.
Yeah, absolutely. For Woodland Hills, I think it's exactly kind of what you said. Scoop Smith is obviously the big name guy every time he steps onto the field for Woodland Hills, but you cannot forget about this team in general. And again, it's a team. You have Cam Walter back there, a seasoned vet quarterback, 3rd year starting for this team, who's going to do his thing. He's going to be in the pocket, he's going to wait. His offensive line is going to do the job that they need to do to give him time. He's got the weapons, and he's going to do, I think, a very good job today. Again, Saturday, not many teams get to play Saturday games here in high school football in general. So they did it last year. They got the job done. But today I think Woodland Hills is going to have to really step it up and not see this as a let's, roll over, at halftime and kind of let the Titans get back into it. I think they need to keep this pedal to the metal and really get things going if they want to get this season at the highest level that they want.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for this game to kick off.
Absolutely. And join us up in the booth for coverage of the rest of today's game here on SATV.
We're the Shaler area cheerleaders, and you're watching SATV.
First for the freshman, and the freshman king is Colby Mine. Colby's attendants are John Grinland and Ella Marshall. Representing the sophomores, Queen Brooke Bankowski. Brooke's attendants are Alexis Bankowski and Paige Jurgensen. For the juniors, introducing Queen Elise Williams. Elise's attendants are Sydney Gross and Carly Karbowski. For the seniors, senior king is Christian Mendoza. Christian's attendants are Louis Scaldone and Adriana Dorovinus. And now for the performing arts, Queen Ava Molinaro. Ava is escorted by Aaron Raymond. The senior representative is Kendall Keene, who is escorted by Cassandra Schneck. The junior representative is Emma Cochran, who is escorted by Haley Sikora. The sophomore representative is Violet Boggs, who is escorted by Abby Walker. And the freshman representative is Emily Stevens, escorted by Sarah Stevens. Shaler area, this is your 2024 homecoming court. And the king or queen will be crowned at halftime, so you will have to stay tuned for that.
We're the Shaler area football team, and you're watching SATV.
Welcome back up in the booth for coverage of today's game here on SATV. Again, John Irwine alongside Matt Brucker for coverage of this homecoming special, a Saturday. It's always a delight to be up here in the booth on a Saturday, Matt, and get to experience not just this football game amongst football fans, but Shaler area community fans alike to be here. It's such a great day. It's so many things going on. It really is a very big honor and a privilege to be up here in this booth another year doing this game.
Yeah, this is a tradition, as you said, unlike any other before we went live. It was something that being able to take a look at what the other high school programs are doing around the area this summer for me, it's been amazing to hear. Like, people love Shaler's homecoming, not just people who live in Shaler, people around. This is really the best homecoming, in my opinion, and those of others that I've been able to meet in the entire Western Pennsylvania Whitfield area. So I'm excited for today's game between two teams really looking to get into more wins than losses here, both at 500 so far. This game would be big for both teams' confidence, especially for the Titans going forward.
Yeah, and like you said, both teams at 500, we said earlier in pregame, that this is not, again, the schedules of competitiveness and the record for both of these teams don't really reflect how their seasons have gone. The Titans have had an up and down season in terms of just trying to find their footing. where Woodland Hills has been, I believe they found their footing very well, but they've just struggled a little bit. Again, the two losses that they've suffered so far this year, Erie McDowell and Central Catholic, those are two phenomenally talented football teams that every year make a playoff push for, obviously, their respective regions and state. So Woodland Hills today, if they get this win here on homecoming, this not only, I think, propels them into a standard of, all right, we know what we need to do, and we're back up, we're 3-2 on the season. The rest of us, the rest of the season is ahead of us. If they come out with a win here today, a very sunny day here in Shaler, I think a job well done. They look towards next Friday, and they say, we're back better than ever, and I think they do what they need to do.
Yeah, local media people really like Woodland Hills, and it's going to be a big indicator. Where is Shaler at?
I agree.
Because if they can keep this game close, that'll give them a lot of confidence. They don't even have to win. This is a David versus Goliath right now, especially with the amount of seniors you've left on the offensive side that have left graduated. I mean, I'm excited to see what Wiley's going to be able to do today. I think it's going to be a great indicator of just how well he's been progressing from JV up until now.
Yeah, Max Wiley, the sophomore, will be stepping in at quarterback today, filling in for Joe Rispoli. He's seen about half the snaps in terms of passing that Rispoli has, but Rispoli has seen about 80% of the snaps so far this year, and he is out for the next foreseeable 2 or so weeks for the Shaler Area Titans.
And as Shaler's going to be receiving, it's going to be interesting to see what this first drive looks like. Are they going to go to the air first, or are they going to just ease Wiley into the game with some runs with Tapu?
And Woodland Hills will get us underway here on a Saturday here in Shaler area, as Jacob Mraz will boot this one away and get us started here.
Happy homecoming, everybody.
And let the festivities begin here on a Saturday in Shaler area, and Ronell will watch it. So we don't start with a great bang, but the Shaler Titans will take over. And they will, here's the way I want to look at this drive here, Matt, if you're the Shaler Titans. Again, you don't need a big play, I believe, to really get this game going. I don't think you need to look at this matchup and say, listen, we need an 80-yard touchdown. We need a 60-yard run. It would be great, and it would be helpful, and it would extremely be nice. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to be confident and consistent.
They're going to need a couple of those splash plays. While they don't need them right out of the gate, you don't want to start off here with a turnover. You want to be able to maybe get a first down here and get some confidence with your guys.
And they go Wildcat. It'll be a direct snap to Rennell, and maybe got a yard. I believe he got back to the line of scrimmage. Now, Braylon Rennell and Sammy Tapu have been the two main men in the backfield in the running back position for the Shaler Area Titans, and it's been sort of a two-headed run game. Tapu really the more downhill runner, with Rennell being the shifty, quick one.
That's what you like to call a good old thunder and lightning scheme. Rennell's going to be a guy, you want to get him on the outside, and Tapu, he's built. He is very strong. He's going to be your north-south guy, and he's going to be willing to take on these linebackers head on.
And another short run there for the Titans, and the game plan for Woodland Hills here has to be to stop the run. I mean, we saw it last week where the Shaler Titans went into the Plum Mustangs enemy territory, and Plum just absolutely just read and decimated the run game of Shaler, and with no consistent pass game, nothing happened.
I think that's exactly the same thing. We didn't talk a lot about Woodland Hills' defense leading up until today's game, but I think they're going to be wanting to get downhill. Look at how close those safeties are. They're only 10 yards off the ball.
They move a man in motion to the slot. It'll be Aversa. Wiley looking right, pressure, and throws up to Tapu. It'll be an incomplete pass. Shaler looking for a flag, won't get it. And it'll be an early punt squad situation for the Shaler Titans. No yards.
Well, we got our answer. Were they going to be aggressive or conservative? Third down and 10, basically. Third down, 10 pass that barely even gets back to the original line of scrimmage. You're going to have to do more than that. I understand you don't want to turn the ball over, give them great field position, but you got to at least try to attack. You can't play timid against such a good team as this.
And we'll see how this punt goes here from Riley Douglas. He's going to have to get a boot. It'll be a top spin roller towards the sideline, and it'll be picked up by Scoop Smith, He'll be just short of the 50. And to quote another famous commentator I won't name, but if I could describe Scoop Smith, it's the dangerous one.
Yeah, Scoop Smith, the Trib thinks very highly, put him in their top 25 ranked players in the Whippeal, and you can see why. He's got everything you want: speed, quickness, agility, route running, everything. He's essentially the equivalent of a 5-tool player as a receiver. 17 catches, 276 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The touchdowns are the only thing that hasn't quite gotten there yet for Smith, but everything else he's done incredibly well.
And this has been a Woodland Hills team that has been growing, getting better, getting more confident in the past couple of years, trying to make that final grasp at a Whippeal championship. And Walter is going to look out quick into the flat on the outside, but it'll get stopped. And a great pushback by the Titans. It was Jockle. Great job stopping his feet and planning and just letting the receiver really just come towards him.
That's great technique. When you got a guy that catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, you don't want to make the first move. Let him read where he's going, respond, and wait for other guys to come help. But that's exactly what he did. A 1-yard loss. Great job by the Titan defense.
It was Amir Brown on the reception. It'll be a loss of 1. Look at this bunch set up top for the Wolverines as Walter's going to look that way. Again towards an open receiver at the 50. And it'll be a first down in front of the Shaler 40. That's a great job by Walter just to find the open man in the separation for Landon Akins.
Yeah, Titans played a soft zone, and now the Wolverines are going quick.
And this is the pace that you're going to want to set. Titans jump, but no snap, so it won't be a flag.
Yeah, he didn't go into the neutral zone there, so he's able to come back.
So they'll flip things around. They'll flip Smith and Brown.
It's going to be interesting to see if Woodland Hills keeps up this tempo.
And it'll be a run up the middle. Now bounces out towards the sideline and gets dragged down about a yard or two short. It was McKay O'Connor on the carry, the main man in the backfield so far for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and they're going to continue going quick. And you saw he was able to break that tackle. He's a very strong runner. And it's going to take multiple guys for the Titans to be able to bring him down consistently.
And they'll give it back. He goes back up towards the sideline, stays on his feet again. It'll be a first down just around the Shaler 20. Walter almost looked like he botched the handoff there for a second. Looked like maybe a designed RPO, but nonetheless, Connor does the job against the first down.
Yeah, this is something I think I've seen Woodland Hills do a few times, is that sort of delayed handoff. The quarterback's going to read. It's the defense crashing in. Sometimes it's an RPO. Sometimes going to hand it off. Basically a modern triple option.
It'll be Taylor Reed in the backfield now next to Walter on the left. It'll be a give to Reed up the right side. Bunch of space in front of him. Puts his shoulder down to a Titan. We'll see where the marker is. Looks like he got the first.
Reed with the carry.
And again, this hurry up, like you said, it is as quick as can be right now.
This is going to be a battle in the trenches, and so far Woodland Hills is winning. Offensive line versus Shaler's defensive line.
Shaler shows blitz. And I believe it'll be on the Wolverines, Malik McLeod. So that'll halt this drive real quick for the Wolverines. Nothing really to worry about. But again, we talked about it for the Titans, the discipline on penalties. The same thing has to go for the Wolverines. You can't come into this game being sloppy and expect to get the same results going into the next couple of games.
Yeah, Woodland Hills often has a lot of penalties going back a couple of years, so they've got to make sure that if they do commit a penalty, they can respond right back.
Reed gets the call, stays on his feet. A great job breaking the tackle, and a touchdown for the Wolverines here at Louis C. Mardig Stadium to break the deadlock. 0-0 and 6 on the board for the Wolverines.
And there was nothing too special about that play design. It's a guy they're reversing the direction they're running. They run to the right, run to the right, run to the right. Now we're just going to run to the left, and they found a soft spot in the Titan defense for the touchdown.
And that's just a great job. Again, we talk about high school athletes, around the country in any sport, and how athletic these student athletes are these days. And it just goes to show right there. I mean, he almost looked like he fell over sideways on that run. And Miraz's kick will be good. And it'll put the Wolverines up 7. So after a 4-play Titan drive and a opening scoring drive for the Wolverines, what do we have to say so far for how this game's looking to be, Matt?
Well, it's going exactly like Woodland Hills wanted it to. Force a 3-and-out, punt, get the ball just shy of midfield and take it all the way down to score without really needing to throw the ball. They did it once, but then the rest of it's just a heavy, heavy dose of Mikhail Connor.
And that's what you get when you have the culmination of the team that is Woodland Hills. When you have seasoned vet guys in there that have been playing for 3 years and are still only juniors, you get a team that, again, may not be as disciplined as you want, but you're willing to accept it when they're averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah, this is a far different team than the team that Shaler beat 2 years ago at the Wolverinas. Far different team.
And
you talk about that game. That game 2 years ago, the Shaler went in, beat Woodland Hills for the first time in school history at the Wolverina, an upset for that season. It was the likes of Keegan Schmatenka, Joe DiSabato, Caden Orga. But again, the scripts have flipped here again, essentially. And as it goes in sports, that's how it will be.
Yeah, and you have a very young Shaler area team that is only going to get better as the season progresses. But unfortunately for them, they have harder opponents in the second half of the season.
And again, Woodland Hills no longer in the northern section of 5A as Renell lets this one go. Woodland Hills moved out to the eastern with the likes of Penn Trafford, Gateway, and Plum moved into the northern section as we saw last week. So a non-section game, but nonetheless a game for both teams to get better.
Yeah, so last drive, 3 and out, couple runs that didn't go anywhere, and then an incomplete pass that wasn't close to getting a first down. So you got to stick to what you've been doing well, which is running the football, but eventually you're going to have to maybe work in some play action, something to get the defense off guard.
Renell will move out wide. And Tapu will shift over to the left of Wiley. Wolverines look to get in there, and Wiley's going to have to fall on it, and he does. Wiley saves the Titans from a possible
recovered by Wiley
defensive touchdown for the Wolverines.
And yeah, there's the first mistake of the game, bobbled snap, and Lanier Butler, it didn't even matter that he bobbled the snap. He was going to get sacked immediately because Butler came right off the edge and would have drilled Wiley. So not exactly something you want to do here early on, a bobble snap, and especially going up against a talented team in Woodland Hills.
And we've seen Shaler struggle so far on that right side of the offensive line. So we'll get to that in a moment as Wiley will take it, give it to Tapu, puts his head down, but won't get anywhere. And again, so far the Shaler Titans, I believe, with a net gain of 0 so far in 6 plays. And back to the O-line. I mean, you look at that right side, it is Bernesser, the freshman, and he's been in there every game so far, but as a 6'4", 220 freshman going up against a seasoned vet like Lanier Butler, a 6'4", 225 defensive end, you see the difference there.
Yeah, the younger brother of Logan Bernesser, the great two-sport star in football and basketball. Exactly right, young freshman, but he's going to be one of the cornerstones of this offensive line into the future.
Wiley's going to have to scramble and dumps out for Tapu. It'll be a flag on the play. Connor was right there, dropped the ball. We will see what it's on. It looks like it might be against the Wolverines for a possible defensive holding.
It's going to either be holding or pass interference, depends on when the official threw the flag. Because, yeah, he was all over Tapu there in the flat.
And Wiley so far has only really gone to his right. It will be a defensive holding, so Shaler catches a break there. But again, Wiley so far not being able to connect with his receivers.
And it's natural for a right-handed quarterback to roll out to his right. What he's got to be careful about, though, is throwing back across his left, because that usually leads to an interception, especially to an athletic and scary good defensive team.
And the man on the left side is Scoop Smith. So I think the game plan might be for the Titans is to keep this thing on the right side of the field as long as you don't see number 1 lined up there.
Yeah, Wiley's got to look to either receiver or tight end. Look to see if London can get open here on 3rd down. But we have too many men on the field for Shaler.
With 7:33 remaining, already seen a couple of yellow flags thrown, and what ended up being a Shaler gift has now been taken away.
Illegal substitution called on Shaler.
And again, the Titans just not able to keep the yellow flags off the field. Last week against Plum saw about 15 penalties, adding up to over 100 yards.
And then, yeah, second drive of the game, and already too many men on the field. Legal substitution is
12 from their own 18.
should be something that you sometimes you maybe even script drive to start a game. Now it's just like not good, and now we have stoppage again.
And Shaler will take their first timeout. And with this young team, we've seen the struggles in terms of just setting up the offense and getting things set. We've seen it even happen with Rispoli in the game. And again, this team is young, but you can only say they're young for so long before they have to be able to pick up on those sort of communication mistakes.
Yeah, you're exactly right, John. And it's going to be something that's going to be a long process. It's not easy. Football is a very tough sport mentally. We talk a lot about the physical aspect. Mentally, it's that tough too, and it's exactly what's going through Wiley's head right now. Not only do you have to worry about, okay, I have to hand the ball off cleanly. I got to catch the ball cleanly. I've got to make the right pass. Can't throw an interception. You also have to be the game manager out there too.
Yeah, you have to be cool, calm, and collected. And again, you don't need to be a quarterback that throws for 200-plus yards a game, 3 touchdowns. You just need to be able to have the trust from your receivers and your offense to say, I'm going to protect the guy in the back. As the Titans with the long third down, Wiley's going to bobble the snap, roll right again, and tipped, but incomplete. George Hill on the deflection.
Rolls out, passes incomplete.
And the Titans,
Hill
not able to do anything. And Douglas with his second punt of the day.
Brings up a 4th and 12 for the Titans from the 18.
Was able to get the ball away from Smith earlier. He did pick it up for the return. I'm excited to see what he does here.
And he just didn't see George Hill. He was just staring him down. And one of the things you see a lot with young quarterbacks at any level is they get locked on one receiver. I have to throw to him, but you don't see the other defenders, that lurking linebacker underneath.
And that punt will be inside of Shaler's 40-yard line. And that is the game plan, to go towards the sidelines, just not the distance you wanted.
That was something that we talked to Mark Povich, who you'll see for several of your other sporting events throughout the year as your play-by-play commentator. We talked to him, and he was saying that we want to keep the ball away from Scoop Smith as much as possible. That includes on punts. He's back there. We're going to kick it to the sideline. We're going to make it so he cannot get the ball. However, it's a very short punt. And that's what, 20-yard punt? 15-yard punt? That's... Ugh.
Yeah, Scoop Smith again last year on this homecoming game here in Shaler area. The first play of the game was about a 90-yard kickoff return to start the game. So obviously the tone had been set for the special teams, as we will be in a Wildcat formation for the Wolverines. It'll be Smith back there. It'll be a direct, and he'll keeps his feet in the ground. Now with a head of steam up the middle, and stays on his feet and spins. And brought down finally by Rennell. And that is the speed and the shiftiness of Smith that you expect to see every time he's on the field.
Yeah, immediately jukes right, heads back left. And he's just so quick on his feet. That's when you see guys going through the ladder drills. He probably goes through that in 5 seconds. He's so quick.
There might not even be a ladder there.
Yeah, he probably doesn't need one. He's back in the Wildcat again.
And we'll see. Somebody jumped.
Going to be a false start.
And it will come back.
False start called on Woodland Hills.
And this Woodland Hills team, again, coming into this one, 2-2 record with wins over Penn Hills and Penn Trafford, losses to Erie McDowell and Central Catholic. So you've beaten 2 top teams in 5A, and you've lost to 2 top teams in 6A. I mean, that's almost right where you kind of want to be in 5A. You're beating the teams you need to beat, and you're losing the teams that you technically shouldn't be beating but are competing with. Walter back in the game. We'll hand it off to Reed. Stays behind the lineman. And we'll get a good gain there inside the 5-yard line. Excuse me, it was Connor on the take.
Yeah, and this is something they're probably going to keep going. Just keep feeding him. Get into the end zone once again. Titans got to stand up here on their own goal line.
It'll be a dump to the corner, and it'll be an incomplete pass. Walter was looking towards that fade area, deep corner, was looking for Malik McLeod.
Yeah, McLeod might have gotten away with a little bit of a push, but it didn't matter. Solid defense to fight for the end, and the bobble certainly helped his cause.
So the first throw towards Malik McLeod so far today. with 9 attempts on the year, 180 yards, averaging 20 a catch.
That is pretty insane.
That is an absurd number in high school football, as Walter will drop back, now rolling right, and an incomplete pass in the end zone.
And that brings up a decision. 4th down and goal from the 4-yard line. I think you go for it here if you're Woodland Hills.
You have to. Shaler has a negative net gain so far on offense, and you know your defense is going to do what it needs to do and stop Shaler, presumably if that's how the 3rd drive ends up. But that's only if you don't get 6 here.
Look at the upright shaking. Have you seen that? I guess someone collided with it. I didn't see it.
Now Walter looking right across the field and intercepted. Goodness me, Sammy Tapu. And we talked about Wiley not seeing George Hill earlier, but Walter just didn't even see Tapu come out of nowhere right in that middle area.
Those last 2 errant passes are directly on the shoulders of Cam Walter. He doesn't see Tapu right there in the end zone. Maybe the blue turf distracting him, but he had a wide open touchdown. He misses the last play. Now 4th down. You got to go, and that was his only read. He was looking square to his receiver, and like, I'm going to throw it to him. Yeah, wait, I got him. Nah, you don't. That's Sammy Tapu making plays on defense as well as offense.
Again, the sophomore has stepped up big so far this year for the Titans, doing so again and saving what would have been a touchdown. Ronell getting nothing there. Again, another loss. The Titans yet to have a positive start to their drives.
However, the Titans got the turnover they needed. They're still within a score here. Touchdown and an extra point ties up the game. So now that's a good confidence builder. Defense, maybe confidence on defense can transition to offenses. Maybe the turnover forces a big play here.
And again, like you said earlier, the safeties only 10 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Wiley's going to look towards Signetti, and incomplete. Just no connection right now between Wiley and his receivers, but the coverage of the Woodland Hills Wolverines is also a big part of that problem.
That pass had to be almost perfect for it to be caught. It was pretty good coverage. However, he did overthrow him and was probably slightly behind him too. It's kind of hard to tell from the angle we're at. So something he's going to be looking to do is lead his receivers, because you can't just throw it to where he is. You've got to throw it to where he's going to be, and he knows that. So he's going to be looking to correct that here on 3rd down and long.
And you've got to see here, will Wiley really step up on another 3rd down? It'll be Ronell instead on a direct. Now shifts it back to the other side. But again, nowhere to go. The Wolverines make another stop, and a 3rd punt for Riley Douglas incoming.
I think maybe that run was trying to catch them off by surprise, but when you go into the Wildcat, you're not surprising anyone. You're running the football. And to a team that has a height and weight advantage as well as skill advantage, they're not going to be fooled by that.
Deep to receive.
It's a very skilled Wolverines team. And like you said, they just will not fall for that, regardless, I believe, of how good the running back is in general. And so the opposite side of Smith is where the punt will end up, just to around the 41-yard line, and the Wolverines will take over there. So the Wolverines, after what we thought was going to be another 6, ends up in a punt, but a flag on the field. Looks like it's going against the Wolverines. It'll be holding.
Nicole is holding on Woodland
So
Hills.
this will be the farthest position the Wolverines have started so far today, and the Titans, after an interception, maybe just a little bit of confidence and momentum now.
Well, you can say that for sure, and the red zone defense stood up when it needed to. And going back to the punt, that's exactly what Douglas was looking forward to do. He was like, all right, I kicked this last one too far to the left, but now I'm going to correct the angle. And now they're going to be starting way back, not way back in their end, but further back than they would have been, thanks to the penalty.
It will be around the 31-yard line. And so this is really where we get to see what Wolverines football is like on their own side.
Yeah, of course. They had a couple explosive plays. Scoop Smith on the last possession before the interception had a good run. It's going to be interesting to see if they go back to that later on.
Walters on the key pass to dump it away, and it'll be an incomplete pass. And the Titans got through there really quickly. We haven't seen it so far today, but forces Walter to come up with an incompletion.
Yeah, take a look at the replay on your screen and look at that great pressure. Immediately hit as he throws. And if you can consistently apply that pressure, Walter's going to have a hard game. He's maybe rattled a little bit because of the past couple of passes. That one's definitely not going to help either with a guy screaming in your face.
That's what you have to control here for Walter. Shaler goes blitz again. Walter looking deep to the sideline, but overthrown by about 5 yards. Looking for McLeod again, the deep ball specialist.
That was an I'm scared I'm going to get hit throw. He just threw it as far as he could. All right, let's just throw it as far as he can. Just make sure if it's incomplete, it's not going to be intercepted. Great pressure once again by the Titans, and I think it'll probably be coming again here on 3rd down.
And so Bryant Tarrant, head coach of the Wolverines, at some point, whenever Walters comes off the field, you have to calm him down. Let him know that his team is in control right now, in the lead. But again, too many mistakes, and the Titans could crawl back, and the flag will be on the Wolverines.
Yet another false start for them. And now the mental side of the game is really coming into fruition here.
This is exactly how the game at the Wolverina played out 2 years ago. A bunch of penalties against the Wolverines in times where it didn't need to happen. Unnecessary penalties just added up. And that is how the Titans, I believe, were just able to get that confidence to come away with it. Now Walter steps into the pocket, looking deep, has a man, Witkowski on coverage, but overthrew McLeod again. And that was way over, about 10 yards.
And that's great defense there by Witkowski. Bumped into him a little bit, but not enough to draw the flag. And that pass, Walter was able to step up into the pocket and deliver the strike. But again, not enough. Good defense there by the Titans, and that's big for them to get off the field here.
That's a great opportunity now for this offense to really step up and say, listen, defense, you've done the job the last 2 times. You've stopped the Wolverines and you've gotten a pick. We need to step up here, especially when hopefully after this punt they'll be inside Wolverines territory.
Yeah, the Titans need to get a couple first downs on this drive to get back in this game.
Mraz with a wobbler of a punt will go out of bounds, depending on the roll, around the 45-yard line of Shaler. So Shaler with the best fielding position so far today, looking to make something happen.
Yeah, the Titans defense has really stepped up here these last 2 possessions, the interception and now the punt. And now it's going to be seen, can this offense get going? They've really struggled so far this game. That Wolverine defense has been tough.
And again, Wiley has struggled so far, but regardless of what has happened, it's what will happen.
Yeah, offensive line's got to create some holes for the running game. Give Wiley a shorter time for passing down, shorter distance to go.
Tapu gets the handoff, but another loss of about 2 or 3. Nothing being able to be created from the run game.
And you just take a look, they're immediately getting into the backfield. And when you look up after getting the handoff and you see 3 guys coming through the offensive line, you're not going to be able to do anything. I don't care how good you are. You're not going to be able to get through 3 people screaming through the offensive line.
Yeah, again, Sammy Tapu, as fearless as he is, not sure if he wants to see 3 Wolverines right up against him at the line of scrimmage every single time he gets the snap, as Shaler calls a second timeout here in the first quarter with 3:43 remaining. And so a different game than it was last year, surprisingly though.
Yeah, and I think that now you're seeing with the timeouts, normally I think it would be bad to use 2 timeouts in the first quarter, but you're still in this game right now. You were expecting to maybe be down another touchdown or more at this point. You're surprisingly, but to the credit, their defense, they deserve to be in this game by the way they've played. So now it's the time for the offense. The defense can't do it all. I mean, this can't be like watching several Steelers games and the defense wins you a game because they score 2 touchdowns. That's not going to happen. You've got to be able to do something on offense. And it's going to be, and they tried something there with the distraction, allowing McKay to get wide. Maybe we're going to try something there. But so far, the Wolverines have been getting through the line. So it doesn't matter what you do if you can't get a second or 2 of time for Wiley or Tapu or Ronell to look up and make something go downfield. Titans
facing a 2nd and 11. looking to create something, looking for that big jump start of a play. As Wiley's going to look to the sideline, but picked off by Prince Tarrant. An errant throw as Tarrant now on the return. A wide open field in front of him and a touchdown, Wolverines. A wild throw by Max Wiley, not really even close. And Prince Tarrant read it the whole way and takes it back for 6.
And he read that play like a book. They did the same thing last time. Oh, we're going to do the same play again, but they're aware of that now. You think you don't usually run the same play in a row, so when you have that similar motion, the defender's like, okay, I got to be ready to jump this. And Wiley's like, that's their only look. When you have an offense passing play where you only have one look and it's covered, you can't throw it there. Just got to throw it away, and that time it's a pick 6, and all that talk about the defense being good, it doesn't matter if they don't get a chance to stop him.
So Murad's looking for his second made PAT attempt here. And you said it perfectly there, that regardless of what the defense is doing right now, this offense has been negative.
Shaler area 0.
I mean, yeah, they're probably negative, 35 yards if you count the interception. I mean, it's been almost a disaster, complete disaster out of the gate. And now it's going to be time for some coaching to come in and allow, what do you got to do if you're Coach Ryan or whoever's talking to Wiley? You got to get him to settle down. It's one pass. You got a long game ahead. It's only 14-0. You can come back from this. But if you allow the mental part of the game to take over and take a look at your mistakes, you got to have a short memory. Don't let that impact you.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Again, Wiley, his first start again on the varsity level so far this year, stepping in for Rispoli, and it is unfortunate that this is the game that he does get the start, but unfortunate circumstances. You want to see the real gamers start to come out.
This is the ultimate trial by fire. Thrown into battle here against one of the top defensive units in the WPIAL, and you're seeing that happen right now.
The Wolverines with an excellent job so far on defense. And really, it's been a defensive battle so far, in my opinion, on both sides of the ball. Obviously, the Wolverines coming up with more success, but I think it helps more when the Wolverines just have a dominant offense the Shaler doesn't have.
Yeah, they have an offense that's able to move the ball, and now as the Titans take the field, they've got to switch up their game plan. They've got to find something in that playbook that they haven't tried yet.
And something has to happen. And again, Wiley, no time to think. It was a pick 6, so he got about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes to really just reconvene, get some water, and calm down. He's back right on the field. And it's under the legs. Still loose. We have to see who's on it, and I believe it's the Wolverines. Goodness me, they have it again. Inside the 5, went right under and through the legs of Wiley.
And that is completely on the center there. You talk about, you have a struggling quarterback, you got to do everything you can to help him out, and that's just kind of the second snap that wasn't good. Wiley got the first one, able to dive on it. But you got to do something to help your struggling quarterback, and having him to go dive on a ball yet again is not going to do it. So the Titans once again are going to have to stand tall on their own goal line.
And mistakes on mistakes on mistakes. The Titans being able to really slow down on the penalties, but are now having to deal with mistakes. And costly ones at that. So now Walter, with Taylor Reed in the backfield, gets the carry. And after a push, should be in for 6. And he will be. Another Wolverines score. And you just see it right there. Reed just lets it develop, finds an open gap. It almost looked like he got pushed in by a couple of Titans trying to take him down. But nonetheless, 6 for the Wolverines.
Yeah, it almost looked like Yeckel pushed him in, but that just shows the strength of Reed there as he just kept going. Didn't matter who was trying to take him down. Only a couple yards to the end zone, was able to fall forward to cross the goal line.
And so far, the Wolverines in the last 3 minutes have taken a 6-0 game and just completely flipped it upside down. Excuse me, 7-0 game, excuse me, and it flipped it now to 21-0 with 3:18 remaining, still in the first quarter. And again, this is what the Wolverines were going to do when they came into this game. When they looked at this schedule and they said Shaler and homecoming for the second year in a row, they were going to say to themselves the whole time and on the bus ride here, and while waiting for the parade, that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, they had a So they had a lot of time to think over their game plan as coming to Titan Stadium today. Maybe they just got told the wrong way to go. They got stuck in the parade. And I know in the past you often had the away team's band performing the parade, but now at the end it was like, wait a minute, there's a bus. What's going on with the bus? It's the Wolverines coming in to the game. So far, despite their late arrival, they've been right on time today.
Perfect way to describe it. The Wolverines really just making a mess out of this Shaler homecoming. And another kick over the head of Rennell. The Titans will take over. And let's talk about this Wolverines team. And again, I think my big thing here is this team is, again, so young. I mean, you look at Smith, Tarrant, Walter, Akins, Ziggy Moore, McLeod. I mean, you keep going down the list. Reed, all juniors. They still have one more year after this one.
Yeah, so one of these next 2 years is going to be the one where they can finally get back to the glory days of Woodland Hills football, if you will. And for the Titans, you can maybe look to start going downfield with your passes. Lateral passes are kind of easy to pick off, as we saw in the last drive.
And Tapu on the carry, maybe got a yard. And I will say this, the Titans play calling,
Second and 9 from the 21.
it doesn't just seem, I won't say non-creative, but it doesn't really look like it's making the Wolverines have to think about the play.
I mean, you can be Sean McVay here, but if you can't win the battles on the offensive line, at least occasionally, there's no way for the running game to get going. When you can't get the running game to get going, it just sets back your passing game. So everything's connected to how well you're able to run the ball.
We will have a flag on the play just as the ball was snapped. It'll be against the Wolverines. Came into the neutral zone.
Encroachment on Woodland Hills.
So again, the Wolverines being up 3 scores. Again, you don't want to see penalties.
Yeah, but you're okay with that one every once in a while. Trying to be aggressive. You've been so dominant on the defensive line all game long. You can take your chances there because you've seen an offense that has given you nothing so far.
And now a reverse. Aversa bobbled it, now still with it. And it'll move the chains, and the Titans will go and get a first down.
I remember back to last year in garbage time when you were going at the JV team up here. I remember against Butler and Hampton when Shaler was up big last year. The double handoff has been one of the plays that's been successful for them. Well, you can't keep doing that. Maybe some sort of an option play here or there to try to maybe see if you can spring one free. And that was a good play to pick up the first down.
Wolverines defensive line aggressive as always, looking to get to Wiley again. Another flag. It'll be on the Wolverines again for an encroachment. And I know you said aggressiveness is good here on defense, but you don't want to just keep doing it over and over, I feel like.
Obviously, yes. You can't just let your whole possession be 15 offsides penalties. But at that time, the official was just waiting. He had his hand in his pocket. I just can't wait to throw this flag because he was lining up offsides. And when you jump, encroachment, it's just something like you mentioned it. Like you can't do that too much. You can afford to be aggressive, but you can't be reckless.
And Tapu on a call. Got back to the line.
I think he actually lost a yard there. Just watch this replay. Immediately into the backfield. And luckily there was some secondary blocking to limit that loss to only 1. But immediately upon the snap, Gap's defense, the A gap is just being obliterated right now.
And there's not much more you can do if you're Max Wiley and Tapu in terms of creating space in the backfield when you're swarmed by 5 to 6 Wolverines. And they go with the reverse, and a huge hit. Goodness me, out of nowhere, shot out of a cannon, Earl Perry. I mean, we want to talk aggressive. Goodness me.
I mean, that's almost head-on contact, so he's got to be careful about that. If this was college level, they might be going into an instant replay for targeting, because that was dangerously close to being a really, really bad outcome.
Perry and Hill in on the tackle, laying the boom, and the Titans letting the clock roll out here in the first quarter of play here at Lewis C. Mardick Stadium here in Shaler area as the Woodland Hills Wolverines lead the Shaler area Titans 21-0.
We are the Shaler area girls volleyball team, and you're watching SATV.
And again, met immediately by a bunch of Wolverines, and that's been the theme so far.
Yeah, and when you only have one first down in a quarter and you're down 21 points, that screams one-sided, and that's exactly what this game has been. Don't try to fool yourselves. Titans have had some good plays on defense, but ultimately when you give 7 of those points away for free, it just goes from bad to worse.
And so Riley Douglas with his 4th punt of the day. Smith will not be the man back there. It'll be Nico Major. Douglas, it'll be a wobbly one. He'll take a Shaler roll just short of the 30-yard line. And the Wolverines will take over there. We will see the personnel that comes out for the Wolverines again. Up big so far as we are starting here in the second. But I believe Brian Tarrant would at least want to let his starters really just finish out at least half of this quarter.
I mean, essentially how I've always viewed it is you play your starters until you hit the mercy roll. So as for now, 21-0. You got to keep going. Your offense struggled a little bit. I think they're finding their groove again now. But you want to see your offense keep going. You have to keep playing. You don't want to get rusty for your next game by not playing in the previous one. So, and for this Titan defense, it's time to make something happen. This game can get really out of hand quickly. Down 3 scores can turn into 4 here if they score a touchdown. So you've got to be able to buckle up here and get ready to roll against one of the great offense too.
Walter on a scramble, gets it out to Smith with an awesome spin move, stays on his feet. Now the speed of Smith going down the sideline, won't get caught by Signetti, and Scoop Smith goes all the way. Touchdown Wolverines, touchdown Scoop Smith.
And you see what one missed tackle can do, as this guy's a star on the track team too. Look at that speed.
What else can you say? One play on the drive.
A great thing I've heard is speed, you can't teach it. Speed, you cannot teach speed, and when you see him just fly down, you can forget about it. Signetti tried his best to cut him off, but it didn't matter. He was like, I'm just going to keep running. I run the 100. I run a sub 1100 meter dash, so don't worry. You'll see me in the end zone.
So the Wolverines on one play in this drive with the help of Scoop Smith will put another 6 plus the PAT on the board to make it 28-0. And again, there's just not much the Titans defense could do. Again, the score may not show it, but I think they've done a decent job so far. And not the score, but they've made stops.
And that's what happens when you miss tackles, right? And if you miss a tackle against one of the top players in the WPIAL, you're going to pay the consequences, and in this case, that's a one-play touchdown. So, I mean, talent-wise, there's a big discrepancy there between Shaler and Woodland Hills, and you're seeing that perfectly come into fruition for the Wolverines, as they have had no trouble so far, barring the interception.
And now from the Titans, I believe what you're going to want to see here is you're down 28. It's the beginning of the second quarter, essentially. you got to see what guys are going to step up and keep wanting to play in this game.
Yeah, this is where you see character. You're going to see what guys want to continue to play. You can't dog it out there. And you're going to, exactly right. You have to say, all right, let's wipe the first quarter clean. Let's wipe even this last sequence clean. 11 minutes left here in the half. Let's get some points.
It'll be a squib to Aversa inside his own 20. And a little jump cut, but brought down by about 3 to 4 Wolverines.
Receives the kick.
And that's a great point. Again, you're trying to look for something here on offense. Again, something that at least instills some confidence if you are the Shaler area Titans.
A good move by Adversa to get past one defender, but good coverage overall by the Wolverines. For the first time, decided not to kick it straight into the end zone.
And so the Titans down 4 scores, 1 away from the mercy roll, looking to create something out of a momentumless game. And just swarmed immediately. I mean, the Wolverines have gotten there right away. It was Butler on it again and Jaden Prince.
I mean, 5-yard loss. And I definitely wouldn't say it is a momentumless game. Momentum is on the Wolverine sideline right now.
I should say for the Titans, there is no momentum.
There is nothing, yeah. So, and now first play of the drive, you go back 5 yards, and now it's just a complete waste of a play. As now coming off the field is Wiley.
Aversa started the season as the 3rd-string quarterback. Obviously elevated to 2nd string today. Now will be taking snaps as he's going to roll left and dumps it high. And just out of reach, flag on the play. We'll see what it's on. Flag thrown around the 35-yard line.
This is going to go against Walker probably. I think he either illegal contact or a holding call.
It was on Signetti. Aversa was looking just deep for Glosser.
Defensive holding on the Wolverines.
And it will be on the Wolverines. So another penalty. It'll move the ball just to the 35-yard line. So Aversa, the first snap he sees, throws a pass pretty deep.
You've got to do that. When you have a defense that's smelling blood in the water, you've got to try to mix it up.
And now he has to scramble, and he won't get anywhere as he is thrown.
Aversa is sacked on the play by Butler.
Lanier Butler throwing Aversa to the ground.
Yeah, not letting him escape this time. He's trying to step up into the pocket, as you saw, but nowhere to go, and he was just WWE slammed to the ground there.
Loss of 8 on that play. Brings up a 3rd down and 12 for the Titans.
And so a 3rd and long for the Titans.
27-yard line.
Excuse me, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Wolver's going to drop into zone here deep. They saw the first deep pass from Aversa, and they're going to probably expect that again.
And just letting the time roll. And it'll be a incomplete pass. Almost like it was looking for Conrad.
Yeah, good blocking this time, allowing him to throw, but still had a guy on the outside, limiting his ability to roll right. And the only thing he could do there is just avoid an interception and just spike it right at the feet of his receiver. He was looking to go deep, go to the sticks, but that guy was covered, and wisely just say, I'm not going to throw an interception there and live to play another down. Except now it's 4th down.
And so now this punt taken by Smith. He'll have to spin around, and let's see the dancing of Scoop Smith. Cuts back inside and dragged down across the Shaler Titan 40. We had a flag thrown earlier as the play was developing. We will see what it's on.
So a couple flags were thrown. Either we had one of the Titans ran out of bounds, I think, on his own, or he was pushed out. I didn't see.
He was definitely pushed out.
He pushed out.
I watched that happen. We will see what the flag is on. I believe it was Walker who was pushing Glosser out of bounds. And we'll see what happens here. A little debacle between the referees. It looks like it'll be against the Wolverines.
At least credit the Titans. They've been the more disciplined team. They haven't been committing as many penalties, which has helped them at least to not be staring at 4th down and 20. As they've had at least chances on 3rd down to do something. Have avoided 3rd down, and it's impossible to get a 1st down long.
And again, this game, both teams coming in at 2-2. We said earlier the quality of play was a lot different in terms of how each of these teams, who they've played and how they've played. And again, for these teams, the season only gets tougher. Shaler in the section with the likes of Penn Hills, Pine Richland, Fox Chapel, and North Hills, and Central Catholic still to be played. I mean, you look at that schedule, and that's a tough one. It'll be against the Wolverines, though.
So that's going to set him back 15 yards. But still, a great return by Smith. So 15 yards from the penalty. It's probably going to be a little bit further than 15 back, but
I just want to go back to that schedule real quick. I mean, all of those teams are extremely competitive. North Hills almost knocking off Pine Richland last week. And so this section, Shaler has to be looking at it and saying most of our games, our home games that we're about to play next week at Penn Hills, 5 out of 6 to start the season are on the road. But with a bunch of home games coming up in this section, you have to be looking at them with some sort of confidence.
well, this has always been the problem with Shaler football in recent years, is when can they make the jump to being able to compete for a playoff spot? I think 2 years ago was their best shot. They were only 1 game out. And it's just going to take time. I mean, remember those days when you just had 0-10 seasons over and over and over again? Now you're getting some wins, and you've just got to keep building.
From their own 17.
And it's not going to come quickly. It's going to take a while. You got a lot of great programs in your section.
Walter will give it off to Connor. It'll be a gain of about 4. And that's a great point, Matt. This program from around 1999 to 2007, or about 2011, excuse me, had been a very good and respectable program, always battling the likes of Hampton, Mars, North Hills. I mean, they battled everybody, Woodland Hills. I mean, they battled just about everybody, and they were a very respectable program. And then from about 2011 to 2017, this program just took a very steep dive.
Walter's pass complete to McLeod.
But looking to get back on track, like you said, and it may not be 10 win, or excuse me, it might not even be 6 win seasons. But wins are wins regardless.
And so now the pressing moment now comes to this drive. Can the Titans force a stop here after the explosive Scoop Smith play the previous drive to get a first down here? And they're going to be Wolverines continue just to march down the field and take the clock out of this game.
Tapu shows blitz and gets there immediately. Ball pops out and the Titans fall on it. Sammy Tapu showed the blitz right away, broke through the line and forces the fumble.
Tapu has been a great game wrecker. Immediately, well, look at this tackle. He wasn't expecting that. In the backfield, Tapu forces yet another turnover as he has been dynamite on defense.
And he looks like he's ready to play. I mean, we said earlier, who are going to be the gamers? Who's going to step up when the times are tough and really show their character? And right now, Sammy Tapu, just like in weeks previous, is doing it again. Again, the score doesn't show, but he's ready to play.
And you saw live immediately after forcing a turnover. He's pumping his chest. He's getting loud. He's getting excited. And that's the energy you want to see from this team. And you also see Povich warming up on the kicking net. So if they get a little bit closer, maybe you give him a shot. You were saying that he hit from 59 at Plum in warm-ups?
59 in pregame against Plum as Aversa is going to toss deep, and an errant pick again. Aversa just looking right, throwing a pick. And Tapu's fumble goes right back to the Wolverines.
Although we do have a flag. I think this is after the interception. And I think he just saw the guy open and then just didn't release it at the right time. Just didn't get enough air under it. In that situation, you want to lead your receiver out of bounds. close to the sideline. He didn't lead them at all.
But again, this defense of the Titans,
Penalty on the play.
score not showing, but they've been on the field
Face mask.
about
Hold on,
85% of the time. It was a face mask on the Titans. So the ball will move to the 31-yard line. But again, Tapu, again, standing in there, telling his guys, all right, listen, it happened. We have to play defense now. We still have 2 quarters of play, and for however long we're on the field, we still have to play football.
Yeah, this is a moment of pride here. I mentioned character before, but you're representing your entire community on homecoming. And especially in Shaler, homecoming's a big game, and you've got to make sure that you keep playing no matter what.
It'll be a give now, cutting back across. There goes McLeod, just short of the 50.
Good tackle by Ronell to prevent that from being an even bigger play. But look at that move. Juke back, makes another man miss, and just keeps going. Major there, just flying past the Titans.
Excuse me, yeah, it was Nico Major. And we will have a stoppage, and Scoop Smith with a limp.
And that's going to be looking really bad for the future of the Woodland Hills this season. That's their biggest playmaker, and he's having to limp off the field.
Even if it is just a little cramp, just a little pain, just a shooting pain, that can always evolve into something deeper and more malicious. And you got to think to yourself, if you're Brian Tarrant, I think he's probably done.
Well, if it's just like a cramp or something, like, you
For
know,
sure,
when you're
of
running,
course.
if you cramp, you can come back in, but there's no need to push the envelope. You're up 28-0.
He doesn't need to go and score 50-yard touchdowns.
No, he does not need to do that anymore. You just need to keep control of the clock at this point, even though it's just the first half. So let's see what Walter can do here without his number 1 target.
Move Major in motion. Walter's going to keep. He'll flip it off to Major, trying to make something. Walter throws a block, and ball pops out again. Who gets on it? The Wolverines will fall on it. So the second fumble,
Major takes the option pitch.
I believe it was Trevor Signetti who popped it out.
So Major was hoping that he'd get a similar play to that last time, able to cut up, but when you start running backwards towards where you hand the ball off, that's usually a poor decision, and you saw that play right there. As he wasn't expecting the Titans to catch up, but they caught up and forced yet another fumble. This time, though, Wolverines lucky to recover.
So now set with a 2nd and long. Walter stepping up into the pocket. Escapes a hand. Swarmed by Titans and dragged down. Sacked in the backfield.
I think they're going to actually give him 1 yard on that one.
Sorry, they will give him a yard. It was Braden Page on the tackle. So a 3rd and long. And the Titans showing some will and some force on defense, even after being down so much.
14 now for the Wolverines from the 44-yard line.
And this is what you want to see from a defense if you're the Shaler area Titans.
And that was that tribute. Even though it was just 1 yard gain, you can do that when you're behind the sticks.
Now Walter looking out immediately to Tarrant. He'll cut back inside towards the hash mark, and he'll stay on his feet and get the first down. So Tarrant, his first reception of the day, will be a first down, and it'll move the chains. And again, just a simple, easy throw. Walter finds his read right away, finds him, and lets Tarrant do all the work.
Yeah, it's a simple wide receiver screen, and when you're able to get your players in motion quickly, get some of your players that just have the edge and speed, quickness against the Titans out, you're going to find success.
Walter with a fake to Reed. Tarrant again cuts back inside, but tackled after about a gain of about 5. We'll see where the spot is. And so clock still rolling here. About 5 minutes remaining here in the half. Titans down 28. Wolverines have done what they pretty much wanted to so far up until the last couple of minutes here.
Yeah, just got to keep their foot on the gas. Don't worry about the fumbles. Those are over now. You got that 1 fumble back. And keep going and just leave this game in no doubt who's going to win.
And Smith will line up behind McLeod. It'll be a give to Reed. The Titans get to him. Will they bring him down? And they will. And I just wanted to point out that Smith and McLeod lineup near the Shaler sideline. Scoop Smith just right behind McLeod. And we said McLeod, the deep ball specialist. I mean, if those two get downfield early, any one of them could be open.
Yeah, look for that formation again for sure in the future, as this looks like a passing situation.
3rd and 4. Walter looking right, has a man open. It'll be McLeod. He'll get the first down, gets past Rennell with a juke move, and towards the pylon, touchdown, walks in.
And you just see this speed and quickness, breaks the tackle again, and just flies down the field. And you just see Signetti trying to go over. He's like, there is no way I can get to him in time. And he's able to just slow down and park it in the end zone.
And so now, Roz looking to go, make it 35-0 in favor of Woodland Hills. And Woodland Hills so far, again, they've had their mishaps. They've had a fumble or two. Walter has thrown an interception, but regardless, this is a team that's going to keep pressing and, like you said, stay on the gas. And they have done just that so far today.
Yeah, and I don't know where you go here. This is why I would hate to be an offensive coordinator. You get a game like this where nothing has worked, and you've got to try to pull something, trying to come up with a play that you know can work, and you don't really have that option available to you. You just got to keep going. You got to keep persisting. And in the offensive line, you just got to hope they can win a battle here, create a gap, not let the Wolverines storm in and allow Tapu to get going. He has just been under attack every single time he's gotten the ball. He hasn't gotten the carry over 2 yards.
I mean, the fact that he has been getting hit the way he's been getting hit, not really able to gain anything, and the fact that he's still doing what he's doing on defense, causing a fumble that ended up in a recovery for the Titans and having an interception on the day, it just shows you the grit and the heart that, the Titans really want.
Yeah, and when he's not playing football, he's also a member of the North Pitt United Rugby Club. So if you're a rugby player, you know how physical that sport is too. He's just, any chance he gets, he's running into contact and taking it with stride. So he's not going to give up. He's not going to be a quitter, just like the rest of this team. That's what I've seen these past 2 years. Even when the going's gotten tough have gotten going and have persisted. Even though sometimes in futility, they've done their best, and that's all you can ask at this point.
And this kick will be returned. Rennell now having to look up the left side, cuts back inside, and will be short at the 20.
And he was that close to springing that one free. A lower body tackle there saved what might have been past the 40, 50, maybe even a house call. So great tackling there, but poor positioning from Woodland Hills, because if Rennell was able to come all the way to the outside, there was no one stopping him.
And again, we said it, as much as Woodland Hills wants this aggressiveness, as much as they want to see what their team can do up big, again, when you're in a situation against a team like Central Catholic, against a team like Gateway, any of those teams, you cannot have those type of mistakes, even if it's against the Shaler area Titans.
No need to force the issue right now. And that's probably the best rush of the game for Tapu there. 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7, and now you're in front of the chains. So you can keep going, and if you get another rush like that, it can set you up for a 3rd down and short, which is much easier to convert than 3rd downs of 8, 10, or 15.
So Wiley back at the helm for the Titans. Just letting this play clock roll. Gives it to Tapu, and somehow managing to gain a yard.
Tapu again with the carry, gains 1.
I mean, he was hit immediately as he got the ball, was getting dragged by his ankle and still stretched for a yard.
Yeah, maybe. I think maybe Woodland Hills got a jump there on that one. He was in the backfield immediately, almost. Maybe he jumped that perfectly. I don't know. I think he might have gotten off just a bit too fast. But regardless, you're in the backfield immediately, and just the same sight all afternoon.
And looks like Shaler will take their final timeout of this half.
Timeout called by Shaler. That's Shaler's final timeout.
At their own 22-yard line, with 2:44 remaining in the half and in this quarter.
So this might be a situation where if you're an offense, you're just going to take what the defense gets you. Get some positive yards and go for it on 4th down. I don't think you have to go for the sticks right now. 4th down territory. You're down by 35. I mean, another touchdown against you is not going to really make that much of a difference at this point. So you're going to be wanting to press the issue yourself now. Throw the ball downfield, even if you can try that too on 3rd down, because I think it's 4 down territory at this point in the game already, even though it's just the first half.
Yeah, at some point the Shaler Titans are going to have to really just buckle up and say to themselves, listen, regardless of the score, we need some sort of play, because when it comes down to playing a North Hills, when it comes down to playing a Fox Chapel and a Penn Hills and a Pine Richland in this section, you already are 0-1 losing to Plum last week. You've got to be able to create something out of nothing.
Yeah, and this is literally that example. You've had little success anywhere, and that's going to be time. Look at these next 2 plays. If they get sacked, they're probably going to punt the ball. If they get closer, I think they're going to go for it.
Wiley pump, now looking deep, and caught. Great haul in, the reception by Glosser. So Wiley, the first deep ball caught by a receiver. Glosser able to break away from his man, get across the 45. That's just a great job by Glosser, just to watch it into his hands.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, the most important thing you can do for a receiver is catch the ball. He didn't worry about trying to pick up more yards, just catch the ball. He sold out to caught it, and he did. Great play.
So the Titans, the 49-yard line, their first down and their biggest gain of the day so far by a measurable amount. And now Rennell looking to bounce up towards the sideline and will spin out of bounds, but should have got the first, and 2 consecutive first downs now for the Shaler Titans.
Now it's time to give some love to the offensive lineman. Look at this block by Yeckel. That difference there, that's a difference in 5 yards, as he was able to set the edge and just push that Wolverine back.
15 on that play. 1st and 10 Titans from the 36.
And so with 2:04 remaining,
I almost want to do some telestrations here. Can I be like Tony Romo? We need to draw on this screen.
at some point we're able to we got to get the coloring book out and get that yellow marker and show it. But that's a great point. Again, Yeckel willing to throw his body out with 3 Wolverines in front of him to give a block to Rennell. That is exactly what you're looking for. That is the type of stuff when you're into Week 7, when you're into Week 8, and you're pushing for a playoff spot and you're pushing for something. That is going to be plays that are going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, 2 minutes left now and a half. So time is not an issue. You can take your time. There's no need to hurry. You've got 2 minutes. Always, if you go out of bounds too, that stops the clock. So now it's time. You've gotten a couple of really positive plays, a couple pluses on this when they're looking back at this on film. So now's the time. Can you continue to build off those plays?
They move Aversa into the slot. It'll be a give to Tapu. Gets hit immediately. And again, not able to get anything.
Hit first by Butler.
That looked like a maybe run-pass option, Aversa on the bubble screen if he was open and Wiley was looking toward him. That could be interesting, too. If you run Aversa in the slot like that, maybe you try a double pass at some point because you've got 2 guys that can throw the ball in an offense when he's in the game. So a trick play is not out of the question here, although Wolverines have been good to sniff those out when the Titans have tried a reverse or long screen to the outside, or whenever they've brought guys in motion, double handoff.
We'll see what the formation is. I really think that's the big tell so far for the Shaler Titans. Rennell will get it, and having to create something out of nothing, and it'll still be nothing. I mean, what can you do? Woodland Hills is right against you as soon as you get the ball.
And, yeah, loss of 5 there, and it's just marching backwards. Loss of 6, actually. So you've got to go to the air here, make this close for 4th down. And, I mean, hey, might as well. I want to see Povich try a very long field goal just because he can. I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, you're not going to get back in this game because of a field goal, but you want to see if you need that in the future, if you can get a guy long, get like 10 yards here, maybe you can give that a try.
Wiley has to roll right. Pressure by Butler. Dumps it across. Finds his man, Aversa. And it'll bring up a 4th down at around the 33-yard line. And so we will see who comes out.
Nice gain of 10 there on that play.
And 8 now for the Titans.
4th and 8.
34.
I think you keep the offense on the field. It's close enough. I think you can justify going for it. Of course, since you're down by 35 points too, but now you have the clock as a factor, 49 seconds.
Timeout called by Woodland Hills. They'll take their first. And so a 4th and 8 incoming for the Shaler area Titans. And again, with this 49 seconds remaining, you're going to want to look for something. Again, if you don't get it, it's not the biggest worry in the world. You had your best drive of the day so far. And if your defense can stop for 40 seconds, you can go into halftime saying, all right, not at all what we wanted, but we are having guys stepping up and showing some heart and showing some grit, which is what you want. You don't want guys out there deflated, helmets coming off as they go towards the sideline. We've seen it before on many other teams, and the Shaler Titans don't want to do that.
Yeah, so right now, you're not worrying about that. You're just trying to get this first down. 4th down and 8. It's by no means a gimme, but they've got a chance at this, a real good chance. They're probably going to send Wiley, try to get them out to the outside, maybe simplify the game.
Wiley's going to roll left, has London wide open, and got the first down. So London, his first reception of the day. I mean, he was wide open.
And now you got to go. Don't worry about the time. Clock ticking, 40 seconds.
And now Wiley will go under center, looking to spike it, and he will. It'll leave 38 seconds on the clock. So you've called it pretty much perfect so far today in terms of what the Titans need to do. I want to hear your opinion here with 38 seconds. What do the Titans have to do?
Well, you're not running the ball. That is out of the question at this point. You're even if you get a big play, their biggest running play there, 15 yards, that would be great. But you can't do that because you don't have enough time, realistically, because you're 38 seconds, especially maybe in the NFL, you could get 4 plays in there, but just in high school, you can't do that. So you've got to be hurrying and target plays. Either you still have enough time if you pass it in toward, you can use the middle of the field, but you're going to have to get out of bounds if you are close to give yourselves a play or two to get going and try to get into the end zone.
So Wiley looking deep. It's a high floater for Glosser, but knocked away by Tarrant.
And that's good defense there. I think he just put a little bit too much underneath this pass. Let's check the replay. So enough time to get one off. He just skies this one. And Glosser just couldn't get away from the defender Tarrant there. And I think that's a good idea. One-on-one, give your playmakers a chance to come down with the ball. I like that. One-on-one, 50-50 ball. Maybe you try that again here on 3rd down, or you try to set yourself up for 4th down, get a little bit closer with a short pass. Maybe use the roll out to the wide side of the field.
So Wiley on a dump to Aversa. He'll have to make something with a sweet cut and goes out of bounds. It'll stop the clock, too.
That is great patience there by Aversa, knowing that there is enough time. Let's watch the replay. Can't really see it, but we're looking at him now, just realizing, okay, I can either go right or left. If I go right, I waste some time. If I go left, I get out of bounds and stop the clock. 26 seconds left.
Titans go quick. It'll be a give to Tapu, his first so far.
All right, now you've got to hurry up. You don't have to spike it here. If you got another play call ready, you can go.
I think they might. We'll see. It might go back to Tapu. They will spike it. So it'll be a 3rd and 6. 19 seconds remaining, so you've got 2 plays left realistically.
I was kind of hoping for a fake spike there. I think that might have worked. Sorry, Dan Marino, but you do have time to think it over. Now you've got 2 shots at the end zone. So 19 seconds, 3rd down and goal. So you're probably maybe look to Glosser then again on a one-on-one if you can get him open on a fade. Otherwise, maybe you try to make the game lateral, run out to the right side, try to find someone on the near pylon.
You've seen the receivers start to get some separation. I think what really matters on these 2 plays, if you get 2, is do Butler and Prince break into the backfield right away?
Yeah, and I think the offensive line has done a lot better in pass protection. And it just depends. Where do they want the quarterback to go? If they want him to stay in the pocket, you got to force him to the outside. If you want him to be able to roll, you got to the right, you got to push to the left, and obviously if you go the opposite way, you got to force him out of the way. You've got to give him just 1 or 2 seconds to get this ball off.
It'll be the reverse to Aversa and gets stood up right away.
Now you got to hurry, and you've got to throw. You got to hurry.
First by Connor.
5 seconds
Ball
left.
has to get set. They won't have any
I don't
time.
like this call at all.
And time will expire.
Oh, no, we do have maybe they're going to say injured player timeout. Maybe because Wolverine went down. Is that Tarrant there?
I believe it's Tarrant, yes. He is down. We will see what happens.
It depends. That's what the officials are saying. Are we stopping the clock here, or is that half?
The Wolverines look like they're going into half. And the refs, I think, will say the injury came after the clock hit zeros. And I believe that's how it will go.
And the first
As both teams will head into the locker rooms here at Louis C. Mardig with the Woodland Hills Wolverines leading the Shaler area Titans 35-0 here. Join us back for second half coverage after performances from the band.
And take a look. We got the prom. Sorry, not the prom. We got the homecoming court. See them again. Let's see who wins the float contest. A lot of great floats today.
We're the Shaler Area Girls Soccer Team, and you're watching SATV.
And now we ask that you turn your attention to the scoreboard side of the stadium in the track area, and we are going to reintroduce our homecoming court. First for the freshmen, king is Colby Mine. Colby is accompanied by John Greenland and Ella Marshall. For the sophomores, Queen Brooke Bankowski. Brooke is accompanied by Alexis Bankowski and Paige Jurgensen. For the juniors, the queen is Elise Williams. Elise is accompanied by Sydney Gross and Carly Karbowski. For the seniors, the king is Christian Mendoza. Christian's attendants are Louis Scaldone and Adriana Duravinus. And for the performing arts, our queen is Ava Molinaro, who is escorted by Aaron Raymond. The senior representative, Kendall Keene, escorted by Cassandra Schneck. The junior representative, Emma Cochran, escorted by Haley Sikora. The sophomore representative, Violet Boggs, escorted by Abby Walker. And the freshman representative, Emily Stevens, escorted by Sarah Stevens. All right, it is that time for us to announce the winners of this year's float competition. In third place, we have the juniors with Peter Pan. In second place, we have the performing arts with Alice in Wonderland. And the winning float for Homecoming 2024, Once Upon a Time, is... Congratulations, the seniors! Christian Mendoza, you are the Shaler Area Homecoming King. And that is Superintendent Dr. Brian O'Black, who is awarding the crown to Christian. And now we have our banner winners. Best use of color, Birchfield. Best expression of theme, we have Marzoff. The best overall banner, Reserve. The best use of materials goes to Scott. And in our elementary and middle schools, the most original goes to Shaler Area Elementary School. Best overall appearance, Blessed Trinity. And the best spirit goes to the middle school. Congratulations to all of those students for the banners and all the hard work. We would like to thank everyone who helped make this day possible. Thanks to our Superintendent, Dr. Brian O'Black, our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Brian Brown, for their continued support. To the activities departments at the high school, Mindy Theo, Activities Director, Holly Sidlecki, Assistant Activities Director, and Tony Sarkis, Homecoming Coordinator. At the middle school, Lori Mish, Activities Director, Liz Wolf, Assistant Activities Director, and at the elementary school, Heather Oros, the Activities Director.
And welcome back up into the booth for second half coverage of today's game here on SATV. Again, hi everybody, John Irwin alongside Matt Prucker. Hopefully you enjoyed the homecoming day festivities with the band and of course, like you had mentioned earlier, Matt, the homecoming court and float parade voting. Obviously, awesome time for all of the students all the way down from the primary schools of Shaler area all the way up to the high school.
Yeah, congratulations to Christian Mendoza, the homecoming king. The last two classes, the seniors, class 24, class 25, have got it done. So congratulations. That Rapunzel float, excellent. A lot of floats are good. You really like the Peter Pan float.
I thought Peter Pan personally was a little better looking, but again, I am not a judge, and that is the reason why.
And good thing you're not. So welcome back to this game, and it's been the Woodland Hills show all game long, all afternoon, just time and time again. It makes sense. You're up 35-0. It's been mostly their defense has led the charge, limiting their Titans to under 100 yards of offense. And when you can do that, you can expect to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the game plan that every team that has beaten Shaler has come into the mindset of doing, is saying defense is going to win us this game in terms of knowing what Shaler's game plan is. It's run. It's run the ball, get the run going, and when you don't have the run going and you have to fall back on a passing game and a quarterback game that you even haven't figured out yet as a team, there's nothing to fall back on.
Yeah, and for the Titans coming out here in the second half, you're playing for pride at this point. It's audacious to say you can come back from a 35-0 deficit with the mercy rule in play now, so it's going to go by a lot quicker than the first half. You're just going to want to come in and be like, all right, let's just win the second half. You're going to probably bring in your second string here, if not now, maybe later on in the fourth quarter. So you're going to be wanting to see, all right, who's going to be playing for me? What are my options going to be? If this player goes down, who can I rely on to step up? That's what Coach Ryan's going to be assessing throughout this second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the way you have to look at it. You have to say to yourself, all right, it's homecoming. We did not get the outcome that we wanted. We're not really looking at a season that we're too happy with or excited with. But again, you still have a long road in front of you, and that road only gets bumpier, it only gets tougher, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the WIPUL. And the good teams, they take it on the chin and they get better from it, and that's what Coach Ryan is going to want to do. And Douglas will get us back underway here in the second half at Lewis C. Mardig with a squib kick. And McLeod will take it. Going up the right side, now cuts back inside towards the middle, still on his feet, and no Titan able to take him down until he gets to around the 45-yard line. Again, Nico Major, on the take there for the Wolverines. Right side now cuts back inside towards the middle, still on his feet, and no Titan able to take him down.
Where they've started on the field, they've usually found the end zone, whether it be an electrifying Scoop Smith catch and run, or someone else. It's been a heavy dose of anyone who can get the ball. Let's get it out to our best guys and let them go work. And that's been the theme all afternoon as the clock is running now, 11:20.
And you see the personnel taking the field. Walter will still be in the game. So it looks like the starting offense will maybe take the field for one more drive or at least a touchdown. We'll see what the plan is here from Brian Terrett.
Yeah, we want to simulate a real game here. This one isn't particularly close, as you know, but you still want to be like, all right, can we be strong out of the gate for the start of the second half?
And a flag right away. Sammy Tapu showed a blitz, and the man that was going to pick him up, Mikhail Connor, jumped. It'll be an offsides.
I mean, I'd be scared of Sammy Tapu, too, if I saw him coming right at me. So, I mean, he's been the best player so far in this game, no doubt, forcing 2 turnovers, 1 interception, then causing a fumble. So, I mean, that's the one guy on this defense you're especially looking out for.
2nd and 15 now for the Wolverines from the 40.
Now the Wolverines with a 15-yard look here. As Walter will give it off to Connor. Had a burst of speed, but ran into his own man, and the Titans are going to stick him up as Conrad trying to punch it out of Connor's arm there.
That's what they teach you. Rock'em Sock'em, try to punch the ball out.
Had a burst of speed,
I mean, he came in there,
ran into his
just
own
right
man.
there. Just TJ Watts, just get in there, get that hand in there, punch it out. Not able to get it.
I think TJ Watt's a little bit better, though. I think we can say that.
I would sure hope so for the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously.
And so same formation, Walter looking left, now pumps and throws deep into it, but overthrows his man. Witkowski on the coverage, looking for McLeod, the deep ball specialist, like I said earlier in this game. And Walter I think just a little bit frustrated, kind of throwing his hands up a little bit there. I think he's not sure if he's overthrowing it, if the receiver isn't getting the separation.
It is a little bit of both, and that's been the one part of this game that has been clicking, is the deep ball. Throwing the ball 20 yards downfield plus has been over for Woodland Hills. They might have gotten one, but it was stopped right away. So that's something they're going to have to do here on a 3rd down and long.
Now goes to Smith, but incomplete pass. Not something you see from Smith. He did have to jump for it. And so another incompletion from Walter will bring up a 4th down, and you would presumably see the punt team here from Woodland Hills, and you will. And so Walter, not the start you want to see coming out of a second half when you're up into the mercy roll. Again, nothing to really worry about per se, Matt, but you're going to want to see your guy make those type of completions.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I said too, but regardless, clock's already under 9 minutes now, 8:40 and counting. So good job of this Titan defense. I'm going to give more credit to the Titan defense because they forced that incompletion and forced that 3rd down and long to lead to this punt.
Yeah, I think Witkowski has done a very good job today of not really getting beat by the deep ball and really keeping his man in front of him and reading the route. Again, it's been unfortunate that a couple of times another play has occurred where he hasn't been there, but a very outstanding job by him so far, especially on that last incompletion.
So clock winding down, Woodland Hills going to call a timeout to give them an extra 5 yards, or else they would have withdrawn the delay of game. So, all right, Titans going to huddle up here, ready to take this punt, and I think getting a good return here is essential if you're the Shaler area Titans, because you want to be starting in good field position. If you can get this to around the 30-40 yard line, that can give you an opportunity. You just get closer, just get you that much closer to getting some points. I think you want to put something up on the board. I wouldn't care at this point if it's a field goal. You want to get something to be like, we've got into this game on homecoming. We want to give something for our fans to be happy about. These fans have been waiting so long for something to happen for these Titans.
Exactly, and it goes to show the effort that and the preparation that the community goes through, especially on homecoming. These players, they don't want to come out here and perform like this on homecoming, but at the end of the day, it's the snap actually goes over Mraz's head. He's going to have to do something with it and boots it off. And now it'll bounce back. Conrad will pick it up into the pylon. Is it a touchdown for the Titans?
I think he stepped out of bounds, but he's very close
to
the
2.
Wow, they get the play they need. That miscue, we were talking about something that needed to happen for the Titans to give a shot. And a snap over the head of the punter. Maybe they had the backup long snapper in there or something, but regardless, the Titans have golden field position.
I mean, what just happened there to the Woodland Hills Wolverines? A couple of incompletions, a timeout taken to talk things over and really just reconvene. And a snap
the Titans have
miles over the head of the punter.
Goal from the 3.
And this is what you talked about. This is the opportunity the Titans get to do in front of the crowd.
I wasn't this optimistic that they'd get it at the 2, but, you live and you learn.
Now Aversa in. They move McKay in motion. Aversa on the quarterback keep. Won't get anywhere. Maybe a gain of 1.
And this is going to show strength against strength. Can you push your way into the end zone here on 2nd down?
Anywhere. And you see the personnel switch. Rennell and Tapu come in. Maybe Conrad, Wiley. This is the mini tush push you would presume from the Shaler area Titans. We've seen it work a good bit so far this season. We haven't seen it today. This might be the time that they run it.
Tapu's your strongest runner for sure. And now let's see, can he get a good push or something? Are they going to go for it here with Wiley, or are they going to hand it off?
They give it to Rennell, up the gut, and in for a Titan touchdown. First of the day. They finally break through, put 6 on the board.
See, can he get a good push or
Braylon
something?
Rennell on the take.
Just
cuts right inside, puts on 6 for the Titans. That's got to feel good if you're the Titans, regardless of the score.
Yeah, great blocking up front. Create that gap, and got a couple fullbacks in the game. Just lead the charge, and you give it to your running back Rennell and just score. It's that simple. It can be when you get a good win with the offensive line.
So now Povich, his first kick of the day on the PAT, looking to make it for 7 for the Titans. Glosser on the hold. Kick is up, and it is good. Mark Povich puts his first PAT through the uprights, making it 35-7 in favor of the Wolverines. And so the Wolverines, couple mistakes, ends up in a Titan touchdown.
And good job by the Titans. They saw their opportunity, didn't do anything fancy. Let's pound it in, and they did. So good job by the Titans to cut this deficit now to 28.
And you've been saying it, and I've been saying it. The heart and the grit and the pride, the passion, you can use all the describing words to describe what you want to see here. And that is a drive from the defense and a good, only a 3-yard drive from the offense, but still got the touchdown regardless, that you can say, all right, let's do it again.
Exactly, got to do it again. Your defense has been the stronger side of the ball, and you're going to rely on them again to get you the ball back.
And we'll see the kick from Douglas if he goes with another squib. He will. Major will let it roll. And now here comes another speedy quickster for the Woodland Hills Wolverines, but will get stopped at around the 36-yard line, I believe. I believe it was Taylor Reed on the take.
Kickoff returned by Amir Brown.
Amir Brown on the take. So the Wolverines will get started at the 36-yard line. And let's go over their schedule real quick. We talked about the McDowell, the Penn Hills game, Central Catholic, Penn Trafford, and of course today Shaler area. Leading into the rest of the season is Greater Latrobe, Armstrong, Gateway, Franklin Regional, and Kiski.
And they've got to be looking at those games and saying, we can run the table here. We can win all those games and put ourselves in a great position in the playoffs. They've got to be thinking that, especially with a performance like they've had today. They're thinking that the sky's the limit for them.
And here's Mikhail Connor now with a burst of speed cutting up the field. Stayed on his feet after an initial tackle. And Mikhail Connor showing some speed and some quick, flashy moves.
That the sky's the limit for them.
And here's Mikhail Connor now with the initial tackle, gets cutting up the field and sets up the Wolverines inside the 40. On his feet
and watch Signetti, after the missed tackle, he plays it conservative and gets his ankle there to drop him.
They'll give it right back to him. And after about a gain of 7, we'll bring up a 2nd and 3. And back to the schedule, I think if I could describe the eastern section of 5A, it is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right? That's kind of how that football kind of feels, over there with Latrobe and Kisti and Franklin. It's not the most pretty football, but it is hard-working football.
Exactly, and Woodland Hills has what it takes to take advantage of that. But for the Titans now, you got to work about getting a stop here on a 2nd down short.
We'll see where the spot was. I think he's about a yard short, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Connor with the carry.
Just giving the ball to
the
Connor.
Titans now, you got to work
letting him do what he does.
A stop here on a 2nd down short.
They'll bring in Reed now. We'll see where the spot. We'll see the formation.
3rd and 1 for the Wolverines.
Clock getting 5 minutes here in the 3rd quarter.
And yeah, now with 2 running backs in the backfield, you're going to give them 2 looks. So are we going to give it to Reed or Connor?
Tapu looking for blitz, and I believe the Woodland Hills Wolverines jumped.
Nearly every official threw its flag there.
And that's got to be fun as an official to see who can throw the flag first, who gets it out. It'll be on number 55 of the Wolverines, Jaden Estes.
You had both a lineman, you had the right guard, and Reed jump. So
3rd and 6 now for the Wolverines as a result of that penalty.
So 3rd and manageable still.
Now you might go to the air since it's a little bit further back.
They give it to Reed. He's going to bounce outside off the line, get the 1st down, cuts back towards the sideline. He'll get a block and drag down inside the 10-yard line.
And great blocking on that play by Amir Brown.
Give it to Reed. He's going to bounce
when you can drive back your corner
get the
15, 20 yards off,
cuts back towards the sideline. He'll get a block.
Both those blocks, if you can just drive your corners back, they can't come in to make the tackle. I was wondering, how is that so wide open? It's because of the blocking by the wide receivers. Just as important as an offensive line when you're running the ball to the outside.
That's just a great job well done, and it's great discipline, and it shows that the guys that aren't getting the ball aren't just walking and not doing the job that they need to do. They're still doing it for the other guys on the team. They give it to Connor. Now cuts back after breaking the tackle. Looks like he's about a half a yard short.
Yeah, whirling dervish there, spinning around, trying to find an opening. He did, but just couldn't quite get to the end zone. Now they're going quick.
And Walter on the quarterback keep gets in. 6 more for the Wolverines. That's just simple.
Around,
Let
trying
Walter
to
take
find
it,
an opening.
put it in the
He
end
did,
zone.
but just couldn't quite get to the end
quick.
zone.
That's
Now they're
something you have
going
to
to
be
be worried about when you
And
go quick.
Walter
Quarterback
on the
keeper.
quarterback
Sneak
keep
up the
getting-
middle from the 1 yard line, and that was done to perfection.
And we will have a Titan down on the field in the end zone, and we will head to an injury timeout. So are you coming back now to us if it's an injury timeout? I know we said timeouts, but like injury timeout. Is that 6? Poor 6. They got to look at him. Okay. He's still down though. I don't want to talk for 2 minutes while this kid's getting checked out. There's people.
That's 65 there.
Yeah, that's Trevor McGovern. I don't know if that's actually who it is.
Got a 6 or an 8 there.
I can't tell. That's 66. That's 6. His name is 6. 6 O'Domes.
Okay.
Okay, are we opening that up on us? All right, ready? And after that injury timeout, welcome back here in the third quarter, as it was 6 O'Domes who was able to walk off the field. And it's good to see him walk off as now the PAT attempt for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And it will be good from the PAT. So the score now with 3:20 remaining, 42-7 in favor of the Wolverines. And Matt, the story of this game, if I could sum it up in one word, is dominance.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to win a game when the other team has just been as good as they've been. If you were hoping from the Titans' perspective, if you were to come out with a win today, it would involve several, and I mean several mistakes by the Wolverines. They had one there that led to a touchdown, but you need a lot more than that. And you had to play your best game. The Titans didn't play their best. They had quite a few mistakes of their own. And it has come back to bite them, especially that first half. And now you're looking at a near insurmountable deficit and the mercy roll in the second half. Just 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
And I think the thing about this game is, too, with Rispoli, the starting quarterback and starting middle linebacker, being out for this game and possibly next week or the foreseeable future, we don't know as of yet. I think it would be a very big disservice to say this is a what-if game if he's playing.
Exactly. I mean, it just wasn't going to happen today just based on how the two teams took the field. But it's okay. You always got the next game. You got to pay attention. And now for this point, you just got to keep playing well. Try to get another touchdown on the board.
And Rennell will let it fly into the end zone. The Titans next week going into Penn Hills territory, their 5th road game of the season. Penn Hills last night on Friday did the unthinkable, defeating the Aliquippa Quips, who were on a 26-game unbeaten streak. And that's a team that Woodland Hills beat 26-6 earlier in the season.
And that team hasn't lost a regular season game since 2021, and despite them being a 2A school and playing up to 4A, they're still a 4A school. There was this whole battle on whether they should be moved up to 5A. At one point in the schedule's coming out saying Shaler's going to be going to Heinz Field, right? Yeah, not that Heinz Field, the one in Aliquippa.
The new Heinz Field.
The new Heinz Field, the greatest high school football program in terms of producing Hall of Famers.
And a short run by the Titans, and that's just a great point. Aliquippa, again, you want to talk Hall of Famers and the guys that they have. I mean, that is the type of status that I think Woodland Hills is trying to get back to. Woodland Hills was such a historic program, storied players coming from the program, guys like Gronkowski coming out of the program for a year, right? And at the end of the day, this is a program that with all of the talent that they have, with all of the success that they've been building, at some point you have to get the ring on that finger. Hill shows blitz. It'll be a dump off, and Averso will get hit right away.
I don't know if that's where he exactly wanted to run that route. He caught the ball right at the line of scrimmage. Usually when you run a quick little drag like that, you want to be at least 1 yard ahead, so if you get tackled the right way, you can say you gained something.
And I'm just wondering, maybe that's just a precaution of how the game has worked so far with these not the safeties, but the defenders of Woodland Hills just kind of undercutting these routes and getting in there.
Wiley / Aversa have been under attack the entire game, under duress, and they've got to get the ball 1 second, maybe 2 seconds at most. So you've got to get rid of the ball if you stay in the pocket. If you get outside, maybe you got a couple more seconds if you roam outside the pocket, as now Shaler's going to call a timeout.
They will take their first of the half with 1:19 remaining in the third.
That's Shaler's first timeout of the half.
And so now with the Shaler Titans looking at a defeat here on homecoming, now it's time to really batten down the hatches for the upcoming weeks. We already talked about the schedule. We talked about the tasks they have next week going into Penn Hills. I mean, what is the mindset? What is the game plan for the Shaler area Titans?
Well, you got another great football team you're going up against in Penn Hills, and especially going on the road against them. Last night they were on KDKA Plus. You get to see the red lights after they score a touchdown, and it's another great program. I'm sure you're probably bored to death about hearing Aaron Donald's name every time you mention the Penn Hills football program. And you've got to come out. You've just got to do your best. You're not expected to win that game, just like today. No one was expecting you to win this game. It's about playing the game the right way and building the program to something where it's going to be better in the future. And when we can look back and say, look at how far we've come.
That's a great point. That's exactly what you want to see from a football program. And Wiley, a ton of time. It's batted and caught by a Titan.
Wiley's pass is complete.
Glosser on the
exactly
catch.
what you want to see.
He will be about
From
3
a
yards
football
short,
program.
so a 4th and 3.
And Wiley,
the Titans,
a ton of time.
You're going to go for it. It's
It makes sense. No
batted
reason to
and
punt it here,
caught.
especially in this case where you can get the first down. And what about that awareness from Glosser there? Tip ball, keeps his concentration. That's something I've really enjoyed the same as Glosser's ability to just focus on catching the ball. It's a simple thing here, and now it looks like they might be going to punt the ball. But regardless, with Glosser there, focus on catching the ball. You see so many times where people just drop passes because they're already looking to go downfield. First, most important rule, I think, if you're a wide receiver, is just to catch the ball. And now they're running out of time. Just getting the snap off before 0.
And Douglas with a pretty good boot, and it will be returned by Earl Perry and gets dragged. A great wrap-up tackle by Rennell across the 50-yard line.
Yeah, great tackle. That could have gone for at least 10 more yards. And when they've been able to, the Titans have gotten some good shoestring tackles to halt returns, big runs, but they haven't done that enough. Too many explosive plays for Woodland Hills. I think that's been the key for them, their success. It's getting big 30, 40-yard plays, massive touchdowns. Those are the ones that, on top of just driving down the field, which are really hurting the Titans.
Absolutely, as we end things here in the third quarter with the Woodland Hills Wolverines leading 42-7 over the Shaler area Titans. Join us back here for fourth quarter coverage of today's game.
We're your Shaler area cross country team, and you're watching SATV. Woo!
And welcome back to fourth quarter coverage of today's game here on SATV. As it'll be a direct, now a pitch out to Major, who gets swamped by Tapu and wrapped up by Rennell, not before gaining a first down.
Major takes the option pitch.
And so this is where you're going to see the either personnel switch or Wildcat formation, not sure, as Tarrant is now the man at the helm. And he'll dump it off again. Major gets about 4 yards. And so the
Major again with the option pitch.
RPO pitch 2 times in a row from the Wolverines.
I think that's what Tarrant's doing. He's like, throwing caution to the wind. I'm going to get lit up, but I don't care because I'm going to take the most amount of time. I'm going to take this defender out of the play and get this pitch off at the last second. He's got to be careful, make sure he gets it off before he fumbles. But so far, so good, and he's gotten a couple of nice gains. Picked up a first down, too.
Yeah, the flip does take about a second to get off. You can't just expect it to fly out of your hand, so you're going to have to time it right. But doing a good job so far. And so now timeout by the Wolverines.
Woodland Hills calls a timeout.
So Woodland Hills taking their second timeout of this half. And now the Titans facing a large deficit, obviously not going to get the win that they wanted today on homecoming. Now looking at Penn Hills next week, you've talked about it. But I think there's been a good bit of bright spots today in terms of not just players, but in terms of drives specifically. The defense on some specific drives looked very, very good.
And that's what you need to do as a coach. You need to highlight the good things, but also talk about the bad things. You can't ignore all the bad things that happened in this game, but you have to use it as a teaching moment to help these guys out, not just for this year, the next game, but for years ahead.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what you kind of want to instill is, listen, these are going to be games that you're going to want to forget about, but the things that you shouldn't forget are the good things that happened in the game, like the interception from Tapu, like the fumbles that they caused. As Tarrant will hand it off to Major. Gets hit by McKay at the end, but will still get the first down and move the chains.
Major, the ball carrier.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of runs, so just straight firing up the middle from Woodland Hills. We have seen a lot of inside zone, little handoffs like that where the running back's at his side, but running straight at him. It's interesting now because you're getting some backups into the game. Let's see what this Titans defense, this front seven, that has gotten bullied at times, but has stood tall at a couple moments throughout this game.
Tarrant stepping back, having to scramble now, dumping it off, was looking for Perry and not able to get it, and now Tarrant coming off what looked like maybe an apparent ankle tweak, trying to kind of run it off and see how it feels.
Yeah, he probably just landed awkwardly after throwing the pass. He looks all right. But good coverage by the Titans. Didn't allow receiver to get open. And now you've got a guy behind, right at the sticks there for second down.
Mager still behind Tarrant. With a four-man set, they'll move a man in motion. It'll be a sweep, but brought down immediately. That's a great wrap-up tackle.
Sanders, the ball carrier.
I mean,
Schlattman
was just so excited. This guy's running right toward me. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to wrap him up, take him to the ground. Don't do anything special. Don't try to hit him. When he's coming right to me, just grab him, hold him, take him down.
So a 3rd and 9 for the Wolverines. And it's going to be going against the Wolverines for a legal substitution.
Dario Lewis Jr. just jogging off the field. Well, they're going to see me, and they saw him. It's going to be 5 yards back now for the 12th man on the field.
It's better to accept the fate of running off the field and get a little tap on the head being like, all right, let's remember the next one.
3rd down and 14.
So a 3rd and 14.
Need to get a stop for the Titans. Give your offense some time now, 8:30 and counting, to try to mount a drive.
Pressure immediately. Slottenbrand not able to get him. Tarrant's going to have to load. Now cuts back inside. Has a man wide open in the end zone and batted away. Phenomenal defense. Last second tip away by Trey Castor. Immediately. Slottenbrand not able to get him.
You're not scoring this one that easy.
Tarrant's going to have to load. Now cuts back inside. Has a man wide open in the end zone and batted away.
He was open in the end zone, but he wasn't at the same time because of the great reaction there by Castor.
It's a great job not to give up on that play. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 14 in the field goal unit as Mraz looks to put through for 3. Rennell will be in the end zone waiting for a return.
And looks like he's a little bit close there on the hold. Maybe he needs to go even another yard back.
He's going to line himself up around the goal line. And Tarrant's going to call the final timeout for the Wolverines.
Final timeout.
I don't think that's where he wanted to be. I think he needed to be back at maybe he was thinking it was only 6 yards back. You probably want to be around 7 yards back just to make sure you're not blocked. Because if you're that close, it just makes it that much easier for your kick to be blocked. And the Titans are going to be sending nearly everyone to try to block. They're going to keep a man back, but you're not going to fake it here. It makes no sense. I mean, the game's in hand. You're going to see, can your kicker do this? So if you need him, he'll be able to do it. That's kind of what I wanted the Titans to do on that one drive. Just give him a shot. There's no way they're going to let him take a 53-yard field goal in a high school game. But I wanted to see it. I want to see.
I did as well.
I want to see my soccer teammate, my old soccer teammate, kick it just for fun. Because what's the harm, man?
It'll be a 40-yarder from Roz. We'll see where it ends up.
I think it's going to be 47 because you got to snap it further back.
Correct. So they're going to have to get the Wolverines on the field and line them up. Clock stop with 7:33 remaining. And so they say no to the field goal. They'll leave the offense on the field.
Yeah, interesting call. They didn't feel like they were comfortable with the field goal attempt. I mean, you saw it. Tarrant took a step back. He took a full yard back. He still wasn't as far back as he should have been. And now just like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to punt here. Let's go for it.
And Tarrant's going to have to pitch it off. Titans are going to have to swarm Maker quickly. Looks like he was stopped short. A very good effort, though. Titans take over on offense.
Yeah, they're going to start the ball at their own 18-yard line. So, hey, good job. The option play is what they've been going to. They were in the right position to defend it, and they're going to get the ball back. So you got some time here, 7 minutes. Clock runs, though, so you're not going to get the benefit of going out of bounds to try to score a touchdown. But that's enough time. If they really want to get, if they get a first down and really want to go for it, they have the opportunity to do so.
Aversa in the shotgun. It'll be a direct keep, and he'll gain a couple.
Aversa keeps the ball. Gains about 2.
And so now as we go into the next week, or I guess for the Titans as they look to the next week, again, that overlooming thunderstorm, that cloud, right? That quarterback issue. Rispoli won't be quarterback next week. There's no way. You got to keep him, keep him not safe, but keep him off the field so he can get healed. As Aversa's going to go for a dump, and it's caught at the 30 and wrapped up. And a good completion there to Nazir McBride.
Yeah, really nice pitch and catch there to pick up the first down. And, yeah, getting some of your younger guys involved and picking up the first down, excellent work.
And back to Rispoli. You want him to get fully healed. He won't play next week. So for Wiley and Aversa, whoever's at quarterback, after this game, what do you say to them so they don't look at this game and think about it over and over again?
I think competition brings out the best in you. They're going to be competing for that starting quarterback job, and it's going to be whoever's more consistent in practice, who can make some good plays when they're doing 7-on-7s or whatever they're doing in practice. Who approaches this from a mature outlook is going to be competing for that starting quarterback job. And whoever's going to be, whoever's going to have to keep his head, who can make on the shoulder plays and be confident in doing the 7. That's who's going to start the next week.
And the next foreseeable future, not sure when Rispoli, we were told initially about 2 weeks, but depending on how his healing process ends up, could be longer. You're
missing him really on the defensive end. He's a fantastic linebacker, and that's who you're missing. Him and Tapu are a dynamic duo. Sorry, Batman and Robin. These guys are about as good.
And that's a great point. You can tell Tapu was doing a lot of great work today. Causing 2 turnovers and getting in on a bunch of tackles and getting back into the backfield, but it just doesn't feel as strong without Rispoli there, being that guy also breaking up run plays, getting into the backfield.
Yeah, same problem last season, too. That's when the season really went downhill after he got injured.
So Aversa on a scramble, throws a pick. Picked off by the Wolverines.
Aversa's pass is intercepted.
Taylor Reed on the interception.
And I don't know, if we go to the replay here, I don't think he was open at all. I think he tried to force one in there. It's like, yeah, if I just throw this pass, he'll be open. I didn't think he was open at all. It's just an unfortunate poor read there from Aversa, who's trying to get back in the game after he threw a pick earlier, and it's just another pick from him. And once again, you just got to shake it off and just embrace that. I can't force passes. Can't force passes to a guy that's covered.
And for the next 6 days, there is going to be a lot of brainstorming in the coaching staff room for the Shaler area Titans. A lot of things to think about and correct.
Similar quality opponent coming up too.
What changes get made for this Titans football team in order for them to come back with another W? Hopefully next week for this team. But if not, you can't look at this season and say, well, we lost our quarterback, and say, well, we might be down the drain. You have to be able to make something happen.
So 2nd down and 8, probably going to go to the ground again. 3 minutes left. This is probably your last drive you'll see today. First down here will end it for sure.
The Titans 2-2, 0-1 in the section. The Titans 2-8 in the last 2 years of section play. Only 1 win. The Titans in each of the last 2 seasons.
Just a filthy juke by Carter Akins as he just takes on a couple of Titans and keeps going.
2 years of section play.
Some of the thing that stood out for me this game is that usually Shaler can get one guy close to somebody to tackle him, but if he misses, there's not another guy that's coming to try to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's a great point. We saw it in the last couple of weeks, Titans missing tackles and not being able to get there right away. It just ends up into a downward spiral as Aiken's going to keep it again up the left side, who will get the first and move the chains. Again, the Titans, this football team has been clawing its way back the last couple of seasons to create a football program back into the playoffs. Have not been in the playoffs since the 2019 season, where they faced Gateway at Gateway as the number 15 seed in 5A.
Yeah, that was a very weird playoff structure, as I believe the last 2 teams were better than that team all the way back in 2019. Just that the 5A playoffs were so small. Now I think they've expanded that, so you'll get more teams in there. So interesting how that works, but yeah, the Titans have just got to keep at it, keep grinding, and eventually one of these years they'll break through.
Rontez Miles on the take for about a gain of 5.
That works,
yeah, that's the thing is you have to look at it and say, all right, we are not
keep
at the place we want to be, but you have 40-plus football players on this team that have to be able to come together as a conglomerate group and say to themselves, we have to win some football games.
Titans got a big task once again in the red zone. Can they force a stop? Under a minute now, so maybe time-wise, try to prevent them scoring a touchdown here with less than a minute to play.
Akins in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, cuts back inside, open space in front of him, looking for the corner. Got it, touchdown. Carter Akins in for 6, the freshman.
Carter Akins, the ball carrier.
That's just a great way to keep your wits and make something happen. Looking for
he
the
is so
corner.
quick. I think
Got
that's something that they might try to do in the future, because look at how fast he is to change direction.
Carter Akins in for 6.
Nope. Skirts back over to the left and just keeps on going and then gets the corner. Something that has been very impressive with them. Scoop Smith, we saw with his speed, Akins' speed, is like you can't teach that. You can't take a look at the guy and say, wow, we need some track stars here. Maybe Coach Sean Ryan's coached the track program. Maybe we get these guys to start joining the track team, work on some sprints. I think that's a great ability to have that speed, and you see it right there, work to perfection for the touchdown.
And I think the thing is, too, they have the speed as the PAT goes through. Miraz perfect for perfect on the day, as the score will be 49-7 in favor of the Wolverines with 42 seconds remaining. I was just going to say that like you said, the change of direction. Right, this team, they have multiple guys on the field at the same time that can put their foot, plant it in the ground, and go the complete opposite way and still keep their same pace of speed. And it's just killer. There's not much you can do about it.
So 42 seconds left. I think they might get a playoff. They might not. I don't think they'll have to, because this clock is going to be running immediately once we get back going. So homecoming was great today. it's always nice, especially I think I see it differently now as an alumnus coming back and seeing the amount of people coming and watching this team, and not only watching this team but participating in the parade. It was very exciting to see. Get to talk to some of my friends that were graduated last year, and it was just a great time to be back here in Shaler area.
Yeah, it's such a great day. You see as an alumni, you see the amount of work, you see all of the booster stands that are around, all of the food, all of the merch that's around, and you see how much effort and work and time goes into homecoming. And while the football game may not end up what it wanted to be, the rest of Shaler area at the end of the day gets together as a community. They can say to themselves, for one day in the school year, everybody meets on Mount Royal Boulevard and has a good time.
And Rennell got lit up on that kick return. I hope he's going to be all right. He's jogging off looking good, but
he's taking some tough shots.
He is taking, and yeah, not only are they quick, but they're also physical too, Woodland Hills. And it's just been, they've taken a beating both literally and in terms of the scoreboard. Football's a very tough sport. I could never play it.
And so 5 seconds, clock's going to roll. Titans looking to get set. One final play, and they'll just hand it off. And that'll end things here. Fourth quarter. The Woodland Hills Wolverines defeat the Shaler area Titans 49-7 here at Lewis C. Mardick Stadium here on Homecoming 2024. So let's talk about things here and how it went down at Lewis C. Mardick here today, Matt.
Yeah, no tricks, no surprises in store. This is exactly what Woodland Hills wanted, to come in and put this game out without doubt. And that's exactly what happened. You take a look at the games, and it didn't quite start immediately. But the first touchdown, Woodland Hills scores. Then Shaler gets the momentum on defense, gets an interception to keep it at 7. And it just continues to build from there. Touchdown, a couple touchdowns within 3 minutes there in that first quarter. And you think, all right, 21-0, there's still a chance. And then they score again, and they get up to the 35. And it's really hard to keep yourself in this game when you get into the mercy rule, because you just lose the ability of time and you're down 5 scores. But I'd like to give credit. I think Glosser really stood out for me as a wide receiver, that his ability to get open and secure catches. When that's what you have to do when you've got going up against a better team. And Tapu, I mean, he really was fantastic in that first half, forcing 2 turnovers. It really kept going. His energy was charismatic. He was able to rally his team around despite the interceptions thrown by his quarterbacks. At the end of the day, those 2 guys can look and say, we did our best. And the offensive line picked up. They did better as the game went along too. So got to give some credit to them. The defense, I think I was very impressed by the defense. They were able to keep themselves in the game longer than they did last year. And that's a testament to the ability to build. And they didn't lose a ton on defense as compared to offense. But still, great job on the defensive end to at least stay in that game a little bit longer than last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Woodland Hills, they did what they needed to do, came out with the outcome they wanted to, and that's the thing about this team, and that's what's going to carry them into greatness hopefully later on in the season, and hopefully they come out with their section title, and leading into WPIAL playoffs, they're going to look at this game and say, all right, what are the things we did well? And they're going to look at the things that they didn't do well in this game.
Same thing for the Titans. What did we do well? I mean, it's going to be hard to ignore the negatives, but you have to talk about those and how they can turn into positives. Look at some mistakes and look to correct them going into the next week when you're facing a tough opponent yet again.
Absolutely, and that's how it's going to be for the Shaler Titans. They try to regroup and reconvene as they play Penn Hills next week, and I think the one word to describe what they're going to have to do for the next 5 to 6 days is going to be grow.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch from afar, but I'm excited to see if those guys can come in and maybe shock some people, get an upset win here in these next couple weeks.
Absolutely. They have a tough schedule ahead of them as they will face Penn Hills next week. Join us over at Penn Hills. As for us here on SATV, John Irwine, Matt Brucker, here on Homecoming 2024, thank you for joining us here. Have a good day, and we will see you next week, Shaler area.